Hey there, Internet Keeve here. Welcome to the Cars with Keeve YouTube channel. In this video, we're going over a 2022 spring wash process. Now, my wash process has changed constantly. I adapt to things that I see in the industry and YouTube and those types of things, better ways of doing things. I always like to adapt. I like to stay stagnant and not change. One of the main reasons to do the change was from Forensic Detailing. He recently put out a video. He's got a really good channel, gets really technical on stuff, much further than I ever would. He kind of figured out that foaming the car straight as it's dried, it works out better than rinsing the car off beforehand. Especially when you got a little road film, that the water kind of mixes with the road film and doesn't allow the foam to penetrate the dirt. It's better that the foam hits the dirt dry. So we've adopted that method recently, and I've gone back to the bucket method because I hate having two wash processes between my painted car and my wrapped car. We use our ultimate wash cart. There's a video on that. I'll leave it at the end. I point the cart in this direction towards the car, so that way the angle of the hose is a lot easier to maneuver around. We have a 3/4 inch industrial hose from the house. We have a new shutoff valve this year. It's a much beefier version, much more flow. We have our garden hose quick disconnects. We have our 2-stage filtering system down here for the pressure washer. We have our Greenworks Pro 2300 here that we're going to hook up to the back half of the 2-stage filtering system. Cloth and carbon filters. I have many videos on the deionization, all this kind of stuff that's supplemental to all this. Bringing power from the garage with a retracting extension cord reel. There we go. Turn it off. Obviously you don't want to run it while there's no water in it. I'm going to undo just enough hose to get to the back of the car, about 5 foot. Because of the angle we have the cart, we'll be able to get on both sides with just about the same amount of hose. Don't have to use a ton of it. We hook up our SGS 28 gun. Then we hook up the Griot's Boss 302 foam cannon with the auto metering tip, the purple one, which allows me to just have soap in here. Gtechniq W4, just amazing stuff, citrus foam. And then I just put just straight soap in here. I don't put any water. I hook it up, and you know, the siphon on the metering tip automatically regulates the amount of soap coming up, so I don't have to dilute water. The first thing, as always, is to clean the wheels. I'm using my Sure Shot here. This has W5 and W6 50/50 diluted halfway in the can here. The rest is compressed air at about 90 psi. I have it set on a pretty aggressive mist. Now, if you notice that mist didn't look pretty good, it actually ran out of air. I filled it back up. Here we go. That's the difference right there. Much better. You see how it's able to foam just through the spray. We'll let that sit a few minutes, then we'll come back and rinse it off. Now for the wheels and tires, I use a 25-degree 3.0 nozzle. This is a nozzle of my own creation here. I have a video on that as well, creating your own nozzle guards. The pivoting coupler works really well. I keep it at a 30-degree angle, either down or up, so I don't have to, you know, constantly move my hand. Then I change my coupler to the opposite angle. Now we got most of the surface stuff off. We're going to put foam on it now, and then we're going to agitate it with brushes. We use our tire brush. This has been modified because most of these has a big swoop up right here. It sits way off the end. I have dremeled it down to about right here, so that way it doesn't hit my car when I do this. I take my Easy Detail brush, the big blue one for the barrels. I've wetted this down so it's a lot easier to use. And I still use it for the bigger spokes because it just fits better than the little one. The little one I usually don't use on this car. I use a medium size brush right here. I get it wet beforehand. Fits perfectly inside these lugs. Also get around here, and then also use it here in between where the wheel and the tire. And then we rinse the same way again. This time we get as much off we can off the car first before we work to the wheels. Well, we did get the wrap wet in a few spots trying to rinse off around the wheels. W4, like I said before, in the Boss 302, I like to dial it back a little bit on this one. I like my pre-rinse to be kind of runny, but foamy at the same time. As you can see, it's a wetter foam. It's more effective for cleaning, in my opinion. If you get too thick, it tends to stick on and not dwell off the surface, and you have to do so much, you know, watering down and stuff to get it to come off the surface. This just works really well. And it looks like we have a special guest. That right there is Tigger, one of our 3 cats. And we're gonna let this dwell off for about 5 minutes. I'm using a 4.0 40-degree nozzle here with my SGS 28 gun, the pivoting coupler on 30 degrees. So now it's time for the bucket fill. What I'll do is depressurize or pressure washer. I'll take the quick disconnect out of the front of this. I'll hook up my fire hose nozzle. That way my water is filtered going into the buckets. So we'll fill up our bucket. I really love the fireman nozzle. It pushes out a ton of flow. One's obviously going to be rinsed. One's going to be soaked. I have grit guards in both of them. So now we got Gwash from Gtechniq, 3 squirts. It's about 90 milliliters of soap. I'm running out a little bit. Then we charge it up. And I like to use this spray pattern right here. You see I'm agitating the water. I'm knocking down the foam a little bit at a time so I get enough water in here. There we go. Now another big change we made is before the Mitt wash, we used to coat the car with foam, use the Mitt, spray off with the pressure washer. Now we've gone back to the 2-bucket method. There's no need to spray foam on the car. We already have foamy soap right here. First thing I do is rinse it off first, get it wet. Then we go into the bucket. Now you can choose to hold it or put it in your hand. Now depending on how dirty the car is, depends on how many panels we get. We can flip the Mitt obviously to get 2 panels and then go back to the rinse bucket. And I'm just gliding the Mitt. I'm not scrubbing. You don't want to scrub. Glass, you don't have to worry about turning the Mitt so much. You're not going to scratch the glass, which is why I like to do all the glass at once with the same Mitt. I'm actually coming back. I didn't feel I had enough soap in the Mitt. I'm still going to rinse. Real aggressive. You always want to make sure that you're going top to bottom. I'm going to flip the Mitt to do the hood. I consider the hood 2 panels. With a couple of good tips. Waterproof shoes work really well. Not having the key in your pocket. If you have a proximity key, it wants to move the mirrors in and out, it wants to unlock and lock the car. And also tailgate sensors. It likes to pop up on you. tell you another great tip. Don't wear jeans and a polo shirt while you're trying to wash your cars when it's 70 something degrees outside. A little too uncomfortable, a little sweaty. Once again, we run out of daylight. It just takes so long to film this, and I can't predict how long it's going to take. We're back to the rinse setup from what we just had before. Rinse the car off, and then we'll get to our deionization setup. Okay, here's a part of my wash process that I don't think many people do. So after that rinse, before the deionization step, I like to do a full water hose rinse. So we're using 8 to 10 gallons per minute on fireman nozzle. We're really like rain soaking the car, getting the soap out of every crevice that we can possibly get it out of, so we can get a nice clean slate for our easy coat and our deionization. Now, a real easy way to tell whether your car is rinsed completely or not is to check the beads. If the beads have little soap bubbles at the top of them or anything at the top of them, then that means the car hasn't been fully rinsed yet, and you go back and do it again. That's the main reason I do this last rinse. Bear with me, horrible lighting over here. Disconnect from the pressure washer. Now we connect to our deionization system. And that on this side is our Giraffe Tools retractable hose. I take this hose off right here, and then I use that to deionize the car. I have my Solo battery powered sprayer right here. I use my deionized water to fill it up, put 90 milliliters of easy coat in there. It should be 20-to-1 dilution ratio for easy coat, but I've moved on to 10-to-1. Put our top on our bottle. You can see I'm all wet. This isn't glamorous. I'm not gonna put a front on for YouTube or anything. Just gonna tell it like it is. You want really bad stuff, check the bloopers. Now, solar sprayer is real easy. Just pull the trigger and just keep spraying. And I've done like 10 washes and have not charged this thing. It's pretty amazing. Now with the easy coat, just like washing a car, always in the shade towards the night, early morning. You want to do it in direct sunlight. It's a cheap Craftsman blower with a nice tip at the end that allows the airflow to really concentrate. So that's my process. I do apologize, I ran out of lighting. Again, it happens every single time. I can never find a day that's just overcast all day where I can have time to film. I always get towards the end of the night and then I just start running out of time. So I hope you enjoyed the wash process. Now, not everybody's wash process is the same. Everybody's is different, but I'm not those kind of people that thinks I'm always right. So if you let me know in the comments if there's anything that you think that I'm doing wrong. Now, one tip that I didn't go over that didn't happen in the video, happens sometimes, is really windy. So if you have a 2-car garage and your car is out here and you're spraying, the wind is blowing everything into your garage, you're blowing all of that mist onto your other vehicle, you're gonna get water spots. That's why the wash cart works so well. You can bring it outside, close your garage door. You don't have to worry about contaminating your other cars. So as always, there'll be links below to any of the products used in this video, and a big thanks to Forensic Detailing for that research he did that allows me to change my wash setup and actually save me a little bit of time. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I've gone back to the bucket method with the wash. The foam actually worked better. Okay, that's really loud. He's training his dog over there. It's just as bad, just going back to the bucket, so I'm going to, the angles are much, and not have, oh my gosh. We use our, we use, we have a 3/4 inch industrial, we have a much beefier, God, what do I call it? We're gonna let that sit for We'll let it sit there for, we'll let it 3.0. Oh my gosh. Of course. Fresh water and all. On the 30-degree setting with my S28. Now I've moved the camera so I can get better lighting. Here comes the car. Come on, go, go, go. Now what? Now like always, they will, no. Now like always, oh my gosh. And big shout out to Forensic, oh my God, I can't say it.